All right, so let's just go away and jump into some matches. Typical early morning legend search time. So I see this guy, but get him. He's about the same rank as me. Dragonite against Empoleon. Okay, so this is one that I should stay in on since I win. But he immediately swaps to a Charmer, and this is where I make my first mistake. Obviously, if you swap to a Charmer as a safe swap, there's a very high chance that you're running Double Charm. Just a rule of thumb for everyone to remember as well. Double Charm is usually led by a Steel type, and of course we had Empoleon in the lead here. I do not clue into this, and the reason is that I'm too used to playing UL Open, where Double Charm is usually led by Giratina A. Here in UL Premier Classic, or not Classic, just UL Premier, it's led typically by a Steel type. So because I didn't clue into it, I did not shield that Psyshock, which is what I should have done. But nevertheless, I finish off Ninetales, and here comes Empoleon, and he's just going to finish me off with some basic attacks. I do get a number of Scalds off, and I do get an attack drop, which is nice. But nevertheless, I'm still going to lose this match. And the reason is that I should have, right about now, about 30-40% more health. And so I should be finishing this match with 30-40% more health. And as soon as I was able to, I should have swapped back to Dragonite, just to preserve HP on Tentacruel to take out the second Charmer in the back. Of course, I don't do this. And so I'm dead. Out comes Dragonite, out comes the second Charmer. It's a Togekiss, which is obviously really, really bad for Swampert, given we're in a shields up situation. So I am going to just try and throw a bunch of Hydro Cannons here, but they've got enough shields to hide behind, so I'm not going to prevail here. Again, just thinking about what I should have done differently, should definitely have shielded that first Psyshock, and I should have known that I should have shielded first Psyshock because I saw the Charmer come in as the safe swap, which is a really big tell that you're going to see a double Charm team. So obviously people find this, composition with double Charm to be, really, really cheesy. In my opinion, it's actually not that bad because you can tell. And if you can tell, you should be able to take some countermeasures to it, which I obviously failed to do there. So definitely my fault on that loss. But let's hop right into the next battle. Okay, another guy very close to my ELO coming in, just kind of a low legend player just like me. And we're going to see Talonflame. And you're thinking, okay, I'm playing ABB Water, and I should immediately swap to my swap, but I'm not going to. And here's the reason, is that sometimes Talonflame actually swaps away from Dragonite. And if you do that, you want to wait to see what it is so you swap correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to catch the Brave Bird on my tankiest Pokemon, which in this case is Tentacruel. I know people are going to find this to be a little bit of a weird stylistic choice. Others would have just shielded it, but I prefer this one. Again, here, I'm going to make a really big mistake here, because here she's going to throw a charge move, and I know that he doesn't have enough Shadow Claws to make that actually a Shadow Ball, so I know it's Seed Bomb. I correctly called it Seed Bomb, but then I'm like, oh, I can still get to Sludge Wave, and I can't, because I miscounted, and basically now I got Shadow Claw to death. So now I basically let my Tentacruel die while it was full of energy. That's a big bad, but I'm not going to give up yet, because giving up early is how you lose Elo. So here comes Dragonite. I'm going to throw a Dragon Claw. This one is almost certainly Shadow Ball. I know that because he's about to die. And I know that he has enough energy because of the number of Shadow Claws that I've counted. So obviously it's a Shadow Ball. I'm going to block that. I'm going to finish him off with a few basic attacks. And now I'm actually have enough energy to throw a Superpower should I need to. I see Lapras come out, and I'm like, ooh, this is bad. So I'm going to throw a Dragon Claw and hope that he shields it. And then the idea would be to follow up with a Superpower after he shielded the Dragon Claw. Unfortunately, this guy's not so stupid, and so he doesn't shield the Dragon Claw, and then I throw my Superpower, and, well, he's going to shield this one because it's pretty obvious that I'm throwing a Superpower because I'm about to die. So nevertheless, I've wasted a shield, so I'm going to swap immediately to my good friend Swampert here. All right. So I'm looking at this, and I'm like, he has enough energy for a Skull Bash. I'm pretty sure it's a Skull Bash, but I still can't shield it. The reason is that, we still have a Talonflame in the back to deal with. And I'm going to overcharge it a little bit here, throw an Earthquake, and finish him off. And I'm worried that if I use the shield too early, I'm just going to die to Talonflame if he swaps in. Nevertheless, here, I'm actually forced to shield because if I don't, the Surf is going to kill me. So now I'm thinking on hindsight, maybe I should have shielded the Skull Bash. Nevertheless, it's where I am, so let's just keep going. I know that he has no energy, so I'm going to finish him off with Mud Shots, and come into this with a full bar of energy. So how's this going to work? Well, he's going to come in, and he knows that I actually have 2 hydro cannons, and he can't kill me because he doesn't have any energy. So even though he could shield this, he's not going to, because even if he shielded, I would just throw in another hydro cannon right away and he would have died. So nevertheless, that guy is out, and now we're 1-1 on the set. And I am including my losses because I know a lot of YouTubers here, they only put up the ones that they win. They want to look really cool. But you know what? This is a normal set. This isn't me cherry picking my matches. This is the full 5-match set of the day. And I'm here to show you not only where I look really cool, but where I make mistakes so that you guys can learn from it and not make the same mistakes as me. So we're going to jump into another Ultra League Premier match, running that same Dragonite ABB water line. All right, so out comes Dragonite, and we see Jellicent as the opponent's lead. I'm going to stay in on this. Not because Dragonite beats Jellicent that well, but just because my other Pokemon are even worse against Jellicent. And Jellicent is definitely a Pokemon that my team doesn't like to see. So we're going to throw a Dragon Claw right away, and one of the things you'll notice is that I didn't throw it as soon as it was ready. I waited and threw two more Dragon Breaths. That's because Hex, which is Jellicent's fast move, is a 3-turn move. So I need to throw those 2 extra ones to avoid giving free turns, and you notice that I didn't there. So he's going to hit me with Shadow Ball. I probably should have shielded it. But anyway, here comes Drapion. That's a good, nice, easy switch to Swampert, and I have a shield advantage. So the first one's a Crunch. I don't shield the first Crunch from Drapion because it might lower your defense, so you'll have more value shielding a second Crunch than a first Crunch. And obviously, Crunch doesn't kill you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fake to Earthquake and throw a Hydro Cannon. This is a Legend player. He knows I have enough energy for Earthquake. He's been counting. So it's kind of 50-50 whether he shields or not. But I'm going to throw the Hydro Cannon, and he is indeed going to shield. This is kind of predictable because we're on the swap. And so he needs to win this to get his priority back. So it was a pretty good bet that he would shield. Anyway, I'm shielding the second Crunch here. And I'm going to get all the way back up to Earthquake. And here I'm going to throw Hydro Cannon again. Again, this is a little bit more 50-50. He's down a shield, I think. Actually, I don't remember. Yeah, he is. So I probably could have killed him with Earthquake straight up, which maybe I should have done. But the idea here is that I'm going to shield the Crunch, and I'm going to finish him off with Basics. But now he's given up his switch advantage, because otherwise I would have farmed him down. So now I'm having a bit of a heart attack here because I don't think he has enough for Shadow Ball, but I thought maybe I miscounted, so I almost, freaked out there. Nevertheless, he doesn't. He throws a Bubble Beam. I'm going to throw an Earthquake, and I know immediately if I swap after the Earthquake and bring in Dragonite, I can very quickly finish off Jellicent before he can do any other shenanigans, and then that is my opponent's most problematic Pokemon out of the way. So now we have a dead Jellicent. All right. I don't remember what comes out next. I do think I won this match. I don't remember what. Oh, that's right. Okay, so here comes Roserade, which is interesting. It's a Poison Jab Roserade. This is an easy tell because obviously you don't want Swampert to face a Grass type. And even though I am Water type here, I am also Poison, so I'm dealing and taking reduced damage, dealing neutral damage and taking reduced damage because he's using a Poison attack. Here comes Leaf Storm. It's gonna hurt, but I'm bulky. Tentacool is incredibly bulky, which is awesome. It's a little swap thinking I might spam Scald, I guess, but he screws that up. Gets taken down by basic attacks, and then Sludge Wave's here to finish off Roserade. Yeah. So overall, I think I played that one pretty well. Didn't make any super bad mistakes, but nevertheless, pretty interesting match that I think could have gone either way, especially if the Drapion's shield situation had gone differently. All right, let's hop into the third match of the set. So we are, I believe, if I'm tracking this correctly, we are 2-1 on the set. All right, battle starting. This guy's a little bit lower ranked than me, and I'm also up 2-1, so I really do need to win this. If I lose to him, it's going to be a lot of ELO lost. All right, my favorite Jellicent coming up. He's only 2485, so Jellicent doesn't have very good IVs, which is nice. Nevertheless, I'm going to start the same way as I did before. Throw Dragon Claw, and remember those 2 extra Dragon Breaths so I don't give free turns. And he didn't shield it. So generally my policy is that I do the opposite of whatever my opponent does. So I'm going to shield here. The last time he didn't shield, sorry, he did shield, so I didn't shield this way. He didn't shield, so I shield. Nevertheless, this is Shadow Ball coming out. And then here's where I make a mistake. You see here, I give up an extra hex to that guy. Like I should have gone, Dragon Claw +2. I accidentally went Dragon Claw +3. And you can see this is actually going to screw me here because look, he's got an extra Shadow Ball. If I hadn't screwed that up, Jellicent is dead right now. So that's actually a pretty major mistake to screw up when I threw Dragon Claw. So now I'm in the red when I didn't need to be. Pretty much not good. Okay, so Rawwing comes out. It's going to finish me off with some, fast attacks real quick. Here comes everyone's favorite tentacle monster. Because I'm dealing neutral damage while only taking resisted damage from his fast attack. Most of the time, Walrein throws Earthquake first. And yes, that is indeed, I have shielded it. Now I'm going to throw Sludge Wave back. And honestly, if he shields this here, I'm in pretty big trouble. But for some reason, Walrein just doesn't seem to shield against Tentacruel. I don't know why. I think they're expecting people to run Acid Spray and Scald instead of a nuke. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and catch Earthquake on Swampert so that it's not a super effective move. And also because I actually smell Talonflame in the back already. Why do I smell Talonflame in the back? Well, because his first two Pokemon are weak to grass. Double weak to grass. Well, no, single weak to grass. Both of them are weak to grass. So something in the back needs to take out grass. And the most important, most meta Pokemon for that is indeed Talonflame. And I'm right. So here it is. One of the things I want you to notice here is when I throw my Hydro Cannons. So Incinerate is a 5-turn move. And Mudshot is a 2-turn move. So the correct sequence is when he throws an Incinerate, you throw 2 Mudshots, and then you throw Hydro Cannon so that you're not giving away any free turns. And so that's what I'm doing here. And he's been forced to use his first shield, and now he's got a dilemma. So he's thrown 3, but I actually get my last Hydro Cannon off here because he knows that if he threw Flame Charge or any other charge move there, right, he wouldn't be able to take out Tentacruel. Honestly, he couldn't have anyway. He's going to throw a Flame Charge here. Even if he threw Brave Bird, Tentacruel would have lived, and the result would have been the same. So that was a very clean win for me, just because I noticed that Talonflame was likely to be in the back after seeing Jellicent and Walrein in the front. Right. So again, something to notice is that when you see the Pokemon, your opponent's first 2 Pokemon, you should always try and guess what the third one is in the back. See, that one I guessed correctly. The first match I guessed wrongly, even though I really should have known it was Double Charm. That's something that a lot of players that in the lower ranks don't think about, which is, not only what am I doing to fight the Pokemon that's in front of me, but what is this telling me about my opponent's team composition and what's likely to be in the back. It's a lot easier in Ultra League, and this is even smaller because it's Ultra League Premier, where the diversity of Pokemon is pretty low. In Great League, it's a little bit harder to do. Honestly, I feel like Great League is the hardest league to play in because it's so diverse, and you need a lot of knowledge to know, okay, what Pokemon, is likely to be the back, what moveset is this Pokemon going to have, and there's still times, and I've played over 2,000 Great League matches, there's still times when I'm like, I don't know what this Pokemon does. In Ultra League, that almost never happens. And I don't play Master League because I don't spend money on this game, so I don't have any level 50 legendaries. So I'm just only playing in these 2, and Ultra is a lot easier for me, precisely because I can predict what's in the back. All right, so Dragonite against the big ghost coffin. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that Pokemon name. So this one's a little tough because none of my Pokemon are really good against him, but he's a pretty straightforward Pokemon. He only runs Shadow Ball and Dark Pulse. So I'm just going to try and leave Dragonite in and deal some damage. I'm going to throw Dragon Claw right away. There's no need to count on this one. You can throw it right away because Shadow Claw is only a 2-turn move. I'm expecting Shadow Ball here, but he throws Dark Pulse, which is actually probably a pretty good idea on his part. Anyway, so he comes in with Drapion. He's baited me a little bit because Dark Pulse is slightly less energy than Shadow Ball, but it's not the end of the world. I'm going to play Drapion versus Swampert like I always do, which is going to eat the first crunch. And then I'm going to fake my way up to Earthquake, but actually throw Hydro Cannon instead. You see I've got a defense fell here, so I absolutely need to shield the second crunch or I'm going to die. Anyway, here comes Hydro Cannon, and as expected, I believe he shields. Yes, he does. Okay, he's going to throw his second crunch. I have to shield this or I'm not going to be able to get to another charge move. And my defense falls again. So here, because I've had 2 defense falls, I kind of do something stupid and I throw Earthquake. I really shouldn't have. I should have thrown Hydro Cannon again, and obviously he shields it, but even not having thrown Hydro Cannon again, I could have thrown a second Hydro Cannon right again, even if he didn't shield. So it was actually a much safer move to throw 2 Hydro Cannons instead of 1 Earthquake, and I screwed that up. So that was a mistake. Anyway, Swampert's going to die. I'm going to bring Dragonite back out. And here I'm trying to think, do I have enough energy to get the Dragon Claw before he gets another crunch? And I think that I do, but I'm wrong because I thought I had more energy on Dragonite than I did. And you can see I'm wrong by 2 Dragon Breaths, and that's really the difference. So, yeah, that I shouldn't have had to take that crunch. So I'm kind of panicking now. I'm trying to throw a Hail Mary. So I'm swapping in Tentacruel, again, miscounting and hoping that I'm not going to eat another crunch. People say, well, I should just throw the Dragon Claw before. And I'm like, yeah, that would have won this matchup, but it wouldn't have run the match. So I'm just really throwing these Hail Marys. And I see Mandibuzz come out, and at this point, the match is pretty much over. I'm just praying that every one of my Scalds lowers his attack, because that's the only way I can really win this match at this point. That's obviously only a 30% chance to do that. Didn't get the attack lower there. I'm going to get hit by something here. I don't remember. But basically, I am going to lose this match. Just because of those, really early screw-ups, mostly on the way that I played Swampert versus Drapion. And it's actually an interesting parallel to one of the early matches in the set where I did correctly play the Drapion shield set. This one I did not, and as a result, I have lost the match. Well, this has been my first ever Pokemon Go YouTube upload. I know I've been doing a lot of Final Fantasy 15. I never really thought of myself as a YouTuber, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I am going to go sort of into this like straight to gameplay kind of stuff. We're going to skip all of these like stupid like, hey, what's up guy intros and all that kind of stuff. So hoping that if this is something you're interested in seeing, being a little bit more instructive and sort of skipping all the bullshit at the start, you'll like this video, and if this gets a good response, I'll keep uploading more Pokemon Go stuff. All right, thanks everyone.